Welcome back, everyone, to the Broker Room podcast. I'm Michael Simon, and today I'm being joined by Lilit Yenokyan. Welcome, Lilit.
Thank you, Michael. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, ma'am. Very happy to have you here as well. And Lilit, you've spent years as a software engineer and engineering leader at powerhouse companies like Netflix, Meta, Roku, and Microsoft. Then you left your role as engineering director at Droppo to found Investra AI, an AI native platform that gives everyday investors and realtors the same powerful data, modeling tools, and insights that institutional investors have. So basically, you're bridging the gap between tech and real estate in a very smart way. But before we get into that, I'd like to start from the beginning. Take us through your journey. You came from big tech leadership. How did you get into real estate investing as a side strategy? And then what, as an investor, led you to build Investor AI full time with your co founder and your engineering team?
Wonderful. Yes, so I spent many years as an engineering leader, and one thing I realized is that the tax advantageous strategies were none as a W-2 income, but that what me and my husband had. And this was during COVID, actually. I found myself starting looking at real estate to become a real estate investor. Start very small, buy a property as a long-term hold, let it be rented, let it appreciate, either an Airbnb or a long-term rental. And I found that the retail or residential realtors who I would work with, they were amazing at, showing me the property, how it will be beautiful for the family to live there. But as an investor, I cared about different metrics. I was more interested on the upside, how soon will it rent? How much will it rent for? What is the monthly cash flow going to look like?
Mhm.
And will it be better than keeping my money, let's say, in S&P 500?
Sure.
So I found that that's not what realtors specialize in. And I started building these tools for myself because the traditional Excel spreadsheet was taking a very long time to build and to maintain for each investment opportunity. So I built some tools for myself. And then, as I was looking and sharing this with other investors, my friends, I realized that there is a need for this in the market to empower investors, residential investors who don't have $20 million to go to the, top line institutional commercial investment firm, to let them power them with the information to make the right decisions, and also
Sure.
empower the brokers who these people will be working with to provide these insights to the investors at one glance and help them with the decision making.
Yeah, that's incredible. You mentioned modeling scenarios like building an ADU, multifamily cash flow, Airbnb, flips, so on and so forth. Could you walk us through a real example of how it helps someone make smarter decisions, just like something you typically see? I would say, yeah, just I know every situation, every scenario is different, but is there like a common trend that you would see on how it helps them make decisions?
Definitely. So, some areas have, there are, especially if you're buying a in up and coming area or in a property that might benefit from renovations, there are many opportunities that the investor is thinking about and the broker or realtor is guiding them through. For example, in some parts of California, in LA, there are some larger properties that maybe the house is smaller, but the lot is larger and the county is friendly to build ADU or maybe multiple ADUs. So Investra helps the realtor model this scenario of, what if, you purchase the property and then you build 3 ADUs in the backyard, and it will help you supplement your income. Okay, you will need to put down a little bit more at the beginning to do the renovation, but this is, what your investment is going to look like at the end of year 1, year 5, year 10. So this is one scenario, right? Or maybe the other scenario is you buy the property and you do not do anything to it. You rent it as is. This is how it would look like, what it would look like. okay, now you build your ADUs. What if you were to long-term rent one of those and do an Airbnb for the two? The Soccer World Cup is coming, so there is going to be a lot of demand for short-term rentals. And
Yeah.
helped with the decision making, of course, see what's the best option and what's the worst option, because usually the truth is between the two, right?
Yeah.
don't want our investors to think it's all the grass is always going to be green and things will appreciate all the time, but also you don't want to think that there is not going to be any appreciation. So just give the source of truth and help them with the decision making.
Yeah, really the decision making, that's where so much of that value is because most people will just buy it and then think they can, leverage it however they want to, but a lot of the numbers, just really aren't there. A lot of it's kind of just guessing, trial and error, and what you've done is really just help make that so much more not only streamlined but transparent, so it really can give you more confidence in when you're making that decision on what you're going to be looking to buy and or sell. And just to, piggyback off of that, the real estate market has become, as you know, incredibly data driven. Yet, there's still a lot of individual investors and even many realtors that still rely on limited tools like Zillow or Redfin. From your perspective at the intersection of tech and real estate, what are the biggest trends you're seeing right now around investor behavior, property analysis, and, just how agents work with investment-focused clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there are kind of the two extremes. One is just rely on very traditional tools and MLS data and provide that to the investor client. And then the other extreme is either realtors or investors just go to their favorite LLM and ask Claude, where should I invest? And give me the zip codes. Now give me the properties. While neither of them is the best approach, and the second trend often leads to leak of data, because people sometimes do not realize that if without like relying on the terms and conditions, and that you have a paid account, if you supply all your financials to an LLM model, that might not guarantee the confidentiality of your information, and that can get leaked.
Yeah.
And also, the models are trained to please you and give you the answers that you would like. And I was talking to a realtor, and somebody told me that there is this sudden boost of activity in Columbus, Ohio. Well, guess what? Because that's apparently Claude favors Columbus, Ohio. Nothing against Columbus, Ohio, but other than their football team, I went to Michigan. But but
Fair enough.
it's over reliance on those tools. So what's the better option is to have an AI powered, specifically trained model and specifically trained tool that is for realtors and for investors, that is enriched with all the data for to help with the decision making and the models.
Mhm. And now how long has this been in effect?
Oh, since the popularity of LLMs, like the ChatGPT became a mainstream conversation at dinner table, and some folks decided to put in their bank statements and their W-2s and be like, where should I buy? In what area and what type of property?
Yeah,
Which is,
very good.
which is kind of, it is uh, very paramount to underline that it is important to still work with professionals who are
Mhm,
fiduciaries and carry your best interests in mind
mhm.
I'm sorry about this, to show you the right opportunity and be there to represent your interest.
Yeah, fully agreed. And I think as time goes on, we're going to see that trend expand where more realtors are going to be shifting more towards, the traditional channels, like I had mentioned, going more towards what you have developed. And shifting gears a little bit, talking about more in the present, building a new AI platform in this space, I'm sure has come with its own hurdles. What would you see are the top challenges you and your team are facing, right now, whether it's user adoption, educating the market? integrating with other tools or just scaling the business?
Uh, Integration is very important because, as profession from the professional angle, I'm seeing that realtors have 20 different surfaces that they have to work through to get a deal done. So
Mhm,
instead of introducing one more, we're definitely more leaning into integrating with their existing workflows. If they don't have a tool, they are welcome to come and use our UI, our user experience, which is great. We have an app on the Apple Store. But what is challenging here, Michael, I'd say, is the noise. Because
mhm,
with the rise of AI, there is maybe a little bit of a misconception that now everybody is a software developer. While it is easy to build something that looks presentable, building something that really scales and will tell you not just what you want to hear, but the truth to empower decision making is still going to be a challenge.
mhm.
So, and people like there is so much noise on the internet, on Google, on your favorite social media platforms, Instagram and TikTok in particular, that there is no backing, but people gravitate to those, and unfortunately, that will take away the trust from the true platforms that are designed for the user's best interest, that have guarantees on the safety of information and are scalable. So, grabbing the attention overall has become ever so challenging.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is that certain, I guess, influencer culture that's gonna just interfere with, that type of business, but everything for that matter. Young people especially, they watch that, they get the wrong idea, and then, like you said, it just creates too much unnecessary noise. But I think as time goes on and people become more adjusted to, these types of systems, they'll be able to, certainly weed that out. So long term, I think a lot of that noise is gonna certainly be able to be blocked out. And then, again, we talked about the past, the present, as we look ahead, maybe in the next like 12 to 18 months, how do you see AI continuing to evolve the real estate investing and brokerage space?
Yeah, I think so. First part, the investors and realtors will continue to adopt the best-in-class AI tools, and hopefully there will be more centralization on how many surfaces they have to go to get their job done and allow analysis created.
Mhm.
The other side of the industry is somewhat reluctant to change.
Yeah.
We still have 500 MLSs across the country. MLS is the multiple listing service, right? Where every realtor who's listing a house will publish that they are listed there. So some of those things and realtors associations are going to be reluctant to change. But I feel that AI creates amazing opportunities both for investors and like tech-minded, tech-savvy realtors who will be able to capture more clients using tools like Investra to manage the clients in one place, be able to surface opportunities from one place, and letting AI and technology take care of the groundwork where they are out there building the relationships and cultivating the relationships with their clients and making sure that their clients get the best, absolute best deal out there.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement. AI, as much as we're going to see it continue to grow and evolve, it's never going to ultimately replace us, particularly, in the real estate space. I mean, that's one of the biggest, most emotional decisions that a person can make. And AI, as good as it is and as powerful as it may become, it's never going to really have that human aspect, component to it. Because I'm sure, as you know, and pretty much everyone else I've spoken to, this seems to be a universal concept. You almost have to take on the role of being a therapist at times, with some of the people you work with when it comes to making these decisions. And, AI just simply is not going to be able to do that. And then to your other point about how, it's changed the business, what I have seen and what you've just alluded to as well, and everybody I've spoken to is while it's not going to make, agents go away completely, what it is going to do is widen the gap, between those who do use it and those who don't use it. So, I'm definitely more on the implementation side. I think going forward, it's going to create a much better experience, not just for the consumer, but also for the people in the business as well. It's just going to make it more streamlined, more convenient, without taking away that personal human touch to it. And again, as we talk about the future of the next, 12 to 18 months, I already, asked about what trends you're seeing in the future of AI, but what is your specific vision for, Investor AI over that time period? Is there anything in particular that is exciting that we can look forward to or goals that you may have over that time period?
Absolutely. I want to add one quote that is, I feel, the adoption of AI in the workplace. It's not just real estate, it's every single industry. And
Yes.
it is that your job will not be taken by AI. Your
Mhm.
job will be taken by someone who uses AI better than you.
Yeah.
We should all lean into the embracing the technology. In terms of our future plans for the next year, I'm very excited. We were in this public beta in California, and
Yeah.
we're expanding, and we will be available in more states. And maybe your listeners can tell us where we should go next. We have
Yeah.
the next two states that we are definitely going to pursue, but I'm very interested, like where people are seeing investment opportunities and want a better tool, better automation to help them with their decision making.
Mhm.
So that's going to be available. And then we will be also providing digests on the best opportunities and helping our users do all of their ideation, not just through UI, but also text-based interfaces. I feel
That's
the future is a combination. It's not going to be all chat because we are visual creatures. We need to see a report. And it's not going to be also click on 200 different drop downs and enter 100 different fields.
mhm. Absolutely. And that's great. It sounds like, you've got a great growth plan in place. So very excited to see, where that takes you. I think it's going to end up great. And now, as we're coming up on time, one of the questions that I always like to ask on the tail end is, in your case, as someone who led engineering teams at major tech companies, what advice would you give to real estate professionals who are just starting to adopt AI in their practice today?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot in terms of leaning into adopting best in class tools. What
Mhm.
I would advise is do not, if you find that something works for you today, do not just settle to those routines because it's very important to keep yourself up to date, listen to podcasts, take classes where you can to see what else is out there and try the next in class tool. Let's say I'm going to use an example. Everybody adopted ChatGPT, but then Claude, Anthropic rolled out Claude Cowork, and those who embraced it, where it can automate like your digest of your emails and things that you need to do over your day. So those who embraced this technology faster than others became so much more efficient, so much more effective in their time management. And there are other tools. I'm very excited about the tool called Manas. This is they were acquired by Meta, that is really helping kind of design and make decisions. So do not settle with the existing tools, embrace the technology, try different real estate platforms and tools. And of course, do what you do best, network, build connections with people, not just over text interfaces, but be out there, call them, meet them, because this is with the rise of AI, this is what all of us humans are going to crave more and more.
Yes, yes, it is. And Well, this has been incredibly valuable. You've given us a clear picture of how AI is democratizing real estate investing and empowering both investors and the realtors who serve them. I really want to thank you for sharing your expertise and your vision. And for our listeners, if they want to learn more about Investor AI or potentially even working with you, where would be the best place to do so?
Sure. I'm available. You can email me at lilit@investra-ai.com, or you can come to our website, investra-ai.com, and reach out to me there, or all kinds of social media. I'm sure we will mention our YouTube here.
Hmm? Yes, absolutely. We will. And Lilith, I want to thank you again. This was excellent. Truly appreciate you. I do hope you have a good one.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael.